5 in a row for Kimi Antonelli. The Monaco Grand Prix did not disappoint. Is this the death blow for George Russell's championship ambitions for 2026? Mate, we knew we were going to get a cracker on Saturday, but we got a pretty damn exciting race for Sunday, despite very limited on-track overtaking. It was a bit of a slow burner at the start, massive sting in the tail, plenty of penalties. I think they were definitely going for a bit of revenue raising, plenty of speed limit infringements. Mick, you must be pretty optimistic. Your boys in P2 in the championship. What did you think of the weekend?
First of all, if we can just take a moment and remember the fallen championship of George Russell in 2026.
You're calling it after 6 rounds. Oh, dude. Big call, big call.
Look, the only thing you would say, he has time. That's one good thing you could say. He has time. But back to your point, man, it delivered this weekend, didn't it? I think from Friday, yes, we had a slow burn at the start, but the red flag never fails to bring up the drama. And, of course, it wouldn't be Monaco without some drama. Hamilton, cautiously optimistic, man. I think they missed a trick here this weekend, Ferrari.
Yeah, well, that's 2 podiums in a row for Hamilton. It's been a while. I'm pretty happy. I'm wearing the hat. Double points finish for Racing Bulls. Massive one. Yes, there was a bit of gambling involved on Lindblad's part, but that's what you get at Monaco. Mate, it had a lot of things going on. We almost saw Perez pick up the first point for Cadillac. We saw the track almost break up.
It did break up.
Oh, yeah, it did, didn't it?
It did, really, didn't it? And then that's what really caused Stroll's incident, and then unfortunately got the hometown hero. There was heaps going on. Like,
it was hard to keep up.
I thought, here we go. This is going to be an absolute stinker.
Well, especially when Verstappen basically went out, stalled on the start. And I thought, oh, look, mate, this is going to be a bit of a procession from here, because we both thought Hamilton and Verstappen had a bit of a mentality of nothing to lose and to be quite aggressive at the start. And then when you saw Antonelli get that lead out, I thought, yeah, mate, it's going to be a bit of a snooze-a-thon. So we were pleasantly surprised. But let's start off. Let's get straight into it with Mercedes. The big question now is George Russell. It was a scrappy weekend. It seems to be the issue with the speeding in pit lane was because the cars were a little aggressive cutting the corner, I believe, coming in.
At the end. No, it was at the end.
I thought it was both. I thought they were saying at the beginning and at the end, because they do like an average time.
Yeah, well, generally the entrance to the pit lane has always been the same. So they generally cut there, but it's at the end because now you've got the extra team. They were saying you had to go sort of around, and they were actually cutting across the line in front of the Cadillac garage, which then was giving him the average time wasn't right, and the FIA is got plenty of petty cash flying around now. Yeah.
Revenue raising, mate. We know how it is with those speed cameras. I'm pretty sure everyone at home has fallen victim to the speed camera on the road. So, or the radar gun. But look, it all started. Look, we can go on with the practice sessions, but Saturday, Kimi Antonelli got the job done, put it on pole. Very exciting finish there. I would have loved to have seen if Charles could have got his lap completed where he would have ended up. But look, we know how important it is getting on the front row or pole position at Monaco. He got the job done there, and Russell could only manage, I think it was P6. And that's where the damage was done. Antonelli, lights out. I mean, he just controlled that race pretty much from the start. Built up a nice lead. He was already within around 3 to 5 seconds after a few, probably 10 or so laps. Early in the race, at least, anyway, of pulling a bit of a gap. George, though, eventful. So, speeding in the pit lane, but the big issue for him was that period where they double stacked and he did not properly serve that 5-second penalty. Got hit with a further penalty, which ruined his race, finished outside the points. So that's a massive 25-point swing to Kimi. Where does he go from here? I mean, he's got a quick turnaround to Barcelona, but do you think that pressure is ramping up massively on George? He looks a little lost.
Well, man, he's got no confidence in the car. You look at the difference between both of them all weekend. Look how hard Kimi was able to attack that racetrack, man, and George just could not do the same thing. And that will be the biggest thing for George, is just to see how on top of the car Kimi is at the moment, and George is struggling to find answers. He did say his driving style at the moment has not suited the car. Then you throw the bad luck into it. Look, he didn't know what to do. It's almost, all you can do is laugh, right? All you can do is laugh. Like I said, the only thing he has got is he's got plenty of time to crawl it back. But if he's going to do it, I think he's going to make history in doing it, because that's will be the biggest championship deficit to overcome to win the championship. But mate, just Kimi, man, was on a whole nother level to everyone. Everyone. Like, yes, we go, would have been good to see Max get off and get up in there and fight. Max would have had nothing for him. Absolutely. No one was going to touch him. No one was going to touch him this weekend. He did the job after the red flag. I thought, here we go. This is going to be Hamilton's shot with the standing start. And that's probably his best start all year. Under probably the most pressure he's had all year.
Yeah, he looks like he's just performing so well under pressure as well. He looks unflustered. But
man, he is running downhill.
But mate,
compared to George.
In saying that, we were saying the exact same thing last year with Oscar Piastri.
But what? There's 32-point difference, man. Back last year. Was it 30? It was around 30 odd points anyway.
I think it was around the 32, 34, 32, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So we've doubled.
Yeah, like that's a big difference. But like we said, anything can happen. That Mercedes engine, man, is fragile.
Yeah.
Like we saw what happened
McLaren,
to Norris.
Especially on McLaren's side.
McLaren's side. Like, anything can happen, but George needs to work it out and work it out really fast. Yeah. Because he's not comfortable. It's been all uphill for him. And Kimi, like I said, man, all downhill. Look, George knows he could do it. 100%. He's going to back himself. But when you're looking at the way Kimi has been driving, and you're going, mate, even if I am on the top of my game, he is right there with me.
Well, plenty of points left on the table. I guess George needs to look at what Max Verstappen did last year, because I think at one point Max was around 100 points away. But the issue here is you're dealing with the guy in the same car as you.
Yeah.
And that's the big differentiator. And that's going to be very tough, even at 68 odd points, to reel back in. So he's going to need a little bit of luck, and he's going to need to be driving absolutely out of his skin. Now, speaking of driving out of their skin lately, that is Lewis Hamilton. He's looking pretty free over there at Ferrari. It was a bit of a, you could say, weekend of two extremes. Not to mention Fred Vasseur with some medical issues on Saturday. Good to see him back at the track on Sunday. Leclerc, mate, bit of a tricky one for him, mate, because he was looking good at times, looking quick, but just didn't seem to be able to string it all together. Then had the off near the end of the race in the same fashion as Lance Stroll. Now, I did see him in a post-race interview. He was complaining about the brakes.
Yeah, he's been complaining about the brakes for the last 2 weekends. Apparently they've got a fix. They're hopefully going to fix it in Canada. But that's a big blow in the teammate battle. Charles just needs to be a little bit careful here, because you listen to the way Charles talks, man. It's always very disappointed. The car's not where it needs to be. The car's terrible. Been struggling all weekend. Then you listen to Hamilton, even when he hasn't been able to beat Charles, it's the team have done an amazing job. My engineer's fantastic. Fred Vasseur moved heaven and earth for me. He says all the right things. And then on the other side of the garage, it seems like constant displeasure, constant complaining. Eventually, you're just going to go, mate, all you're doing is complaining.
Well, the way I look at it, that's 8 years of pent-up frustration.
Yeah.
On Leclerc's side. Hamilton is playing the smart game. He knows he needs to mold the team around him and get the team on side. So it's
he's saying
extremely
all the right
clever,
things.
saying the right things. It's going to be a great battle between those two going forward. It will be tight between them throughout the rest of the season. But it is good to see Hamilton. He looks free. He doesn't look as tense as he has been. And it's good to see that the results are starting to follow that. This could be the start of something special, or at least getting close to potentially breaking through for that first win for Ferrari. What do you give him as a... Well, okay, that didn't sound like a whole lot of optimism. Give me the odds, so to speak. Can Hamilton get his first win this year with Ferrari? Are we close?
Oh, look, man, we're definitely close. We're closer than we were last year anyway. So, but look at the rounds we've got coming up. What is it? Barcelona, Silverstone, Austria. Then we go to Hungary, and I think Hungary might be the next best chance at winning a Grand Prix. I think the car will be good around there. But those races in between, against that Mercedes, you're going to struggle. And I feel like, yes, Hamilton got a second place, and that was mega. But they were always looking at getting on the podium. But, man, they missed out. Like, as soon as that Mercedes turned the wick up,
untouchable.
They had nothing. So they're still a long way off. Hamilton has come out, this is according to Racing 365, that apparently they are going to receive the A Duo.
Yeah.
But he's saying, and I think we even mentioned it, it's like an 8-10 month long project. Like they're not going to get the benefits of that straight away. So definitely in with a shot at some point, but over the next few rounds, definitely not. But I think, man, they missed a big opportunity here.
Where I think they're in for a shot is because of their reliability. There's still, like you mentioned earlier, Mercedes seem to have gremlins still. We've particularly seen it on the side of McLaren. So maybe with that bulletproof reliability that Ferrari seem to carry, there may be that opportunity. So
there's definitely a win there. I'm just looking at what's coming up. Take reliability out of it. There's not too many circuits.
On pure pace.
In the coming on pure pace where they're ready to go.
All right. Hadjar, second podium in his short career. First for Red Bull. It could have been Pierre Gasly. Mate, that was a bit of a heartbreaking scene to see Gasly going around celebrating on that lap, that in lap after crossing the line. If you haven't seen it,
that was tough to watch.
That was a tough one. But Hadjar, he escaped further punishment because there was some doubt hanging over him due to an infringement. He has been cleared, so a good result for Hadjar. Verstappen, well, mate, he will be pretty happy with the pace that was shown out of the car on the Saturday with qualifying, just missing out on pole, qualifying P2. Was that due to the car being suited to the track or potentially taking a step forward, or would you put it down more to that track? When you are the driver, you can make that difference.
Well, yeah, I definitely think Max's front row start was because it was Max Verstappen, 100%. For me, next round is where we're going to see where Red Bull's truly at. The last couple of races have been sort of outliers. Canada got lucky with retirements, etc., which got him on the podium. Typical Red Bull, struggled on the Friday, turned the car around on Saturday. Max made all the difference. But for me, man, what a weekend for Hadjar. That is a confidence-boosting weekend. He did what he needed to do. When Max couldn't finish the race, he was there to pick up the pieces. He closed the gap. What was it? He was only a couple of tenths off in qualifying. Bounced back after that pretty decent shunt in FP1 at the swimming pool.
Carried a problem too for the race.
Yeah, had the misfire too throughout the whole race.
Look, if you're going to have that, Monaco is the track to have it at.
But like you said, man, if you're going to have a problem like that, that is where to have. Monaco is the place to have it. But for me, man, that's just a confidence-building result after not the greatest Canada and a horrible Miami.
Yeah.
So really big effort, and that's what he needs to do, right? If Max can't get the job done. He needs to be there to pick up the pieces, and he certainly did that.
All right, to McLaren, I picked them having a pretty good weekend out, and it was quite terrible, particularly for their 1000th Grand Prix start. Good result in the end, you could say, for Oscar Piastri. Picked up some scraps, P4 finish after starting, and P7, and Lando a P8 start. Had the DNF, had a lot of problems for a while, and then ended up retiring the car. P19.
He had 2 retirements throughout the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, so in one of the... Was that in qualifying or... practice session.
It was in the practice session,
issue,
and then
yeah.
it was in the same place in the race as well. So,
yep.
Oh, man. They were off all weekend. Like you said, you thought they were in for a good weekend. I thought they were definitely smokies. I guess if you take the positive, at least Piastri, he had a super quiet race and was able to capitalise on some stuff going on around him, and half-decent strategy helped him out there, but they were nowhere, man.
Now, this is where I get excited. Liam Lawson, P5, Lindblad, P6, Racing Bulls, massive double points result. Great points in that fight for 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Now, it was a bit of a slow burner at the start for the weekend for both cars. They didn't really look like they were going to be on pace. Come qualifying, Liam's done the job. He's got it into Q3, which was absolutely massive. And, well, just good strategy all round by the Racing Bulls. Stayed out of trouble, kept it clean. And Lindblad, well, they ran him long. And it looked like at one point, one of the first safety car periods, they didn't pit him because it looked like they were going to use him to protect Liam's place. Eventually, the red flag came out and he got that free tyre change, which just fell into their hands. And then, yeah, great P5, P6 finish. Good points.
Yeah, man. Good bounce back after Friday. I thought, oh, here we go. They're in trouble here. Again, that's a weekend they needed. Like, yes, Liam got points last time out, but reliability meant both cars in Miami and in Canada struggled, right? So at some point, either car struggled with reliability. So to get both cars finish the race and both in the points, I think is mega. And for me, not too much to say about Lawson, man. I've been super impressed. Delivered again. But I was impressed with Lindblad. He was quiet all weekend. Didn't make any mistakes. Didn't put the thing in the wall. You didn't hear too much about him, which is, I think, for your first Monaco Grand Prix, is the perfect way to go about it. And they'll be super, super happy. And, man, it's... this weekend, you would have to say they were the best of the rest.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good points because I've clawed back onto Alpine for P5 in the Constructors, sitting on 39 points, Alpine on 41 points. So that's a massive battle for P5 in that Constructors. So, yeah, Permain, very happy. Speaking of that Constructors battle for P5, and that is Alpine, Pierre Gasly, great weekend, very unlucky in a way. Felt sorry for him because it would have been a mammoth effort if he was able to hold that P3, but one of the victims with the speed gun qualified P9, so good Q3 appearance, finishes P7 in the end. Franco Colapinto, well, he couldn't string his 3 race weekends together. Bit of a disappointing one, bit scrappy. Gasly clearly had the wood on him this week. It was sort of back to the old sort of guard through Gasly. But, mate, as I mentioned before, that in-lap after crossing the finish line, seeing Gasly celebrate like he did, and then just not much communication on the radio to tell him.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
Did you see him in the post-race interview?
Yeah.
Where he was
dejected,
nearly in tears, man? Like that was really hard to watch. But he was back, man. He was there all weekend. He was in the 10, just outside, 11th, pretty much all weekend. Then does a typical Gasly job in qualifying. Franco struggled all weekend. He wasn't quite happy with the balance, didn't quite have the confidence, you could say, of Gasly. Where I'm disappointed with Franco is really he should have beaten that Aston Martin. That car was good enough. So it's
the ebbs and flows of Franco. isn't it?
Yeah,
The ebbs and
the
flows
ups
of
and
Franco.
downs,
But
the days of what is it? The days of our lives of Franco Colapinto.
yeah, had to kiss the wall a few times late in the race. I think he turned Carlos Sainz around. But I mean, at that point in time, Carlos Sainz had already had his incident with Hulkenberg, which had already ruined his race.
Yeah.
So a bit of a scrappy one. So it's just a matter of just bouncing back next week in Barcelona for Franco, because he's still, there's still a lot of pressure there despite recent good results. Williams, they were looking pretty quick there for a while, and qualifying wasn't too bad, just missing out on Q3. Albon got the better of Sainz finally. It was a P11 qualifying for Albon, Sainz and P12. The race itself they were basically together. There was a bit of strategy or team strategy involved regarding swapping Sainz around with Albon, and then they flipped it all back. At the time, I thought this was going to end up just wrecking Albon.
I thought Albon was going to get screwed.
Yeah.
I think I even sent you a message going, oh, man, this doesn't look good. Just basically because how close Hulkenberg was to the gearbox. But they're getting better. But what is impressing me is they're able to put themselves in a position to pick up pieces.
Yeah.
And right now, when you're struggling, that's what you got to do. Sainz he got unlucky he got hurt by that red flag in qualifying.
Yes.
So that meant he basically had to come out, and rather than actually a lot of drivers got hurt by that red flag, because rather than do an out lap, a prep lap.
Yeah.
And then your push lap, they literally had to come out and then straight onto a push lap.
I think they only had about 2 minutes 11 on the clock when they came out.
They couldn't get the heat into the tyres, which meant no grip, which meant you get, especially around there, if you ain't got the grip, you ain't got the confidence, and then you're going to struggle. But again, another confidence-building weekend for Albon, I think.
He needed it.
He needed it. He needed just to make sure he was ahead of his teammate. Got a bit feisty over the radio, going, why are we, why are we doing what we're doing? I'm happy to do it, but let me know what the hell is going on here. Are you going to screw me or what's the go? But yeah.
It worked out.
They were unlucky, man. Like, they were unlucky. Really, they probably were good enough for double points.
Yeah, I mean, Sainz getting
taken out
by the Hulk on the hairpin. Unlucky.
That's what ruined it.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, they would have been double points.
Yeah. So P8 for Albon. Sainz missing out in the end. DNF. From Alex Albon's perspective, this is a result he needed. It has been a tough trot. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
For Alex.
That's what I'm saying. Confidence building weekend.
Yeah. Now on to Audi. I remember we were talking about it. They were looking pretty good in practice. They were a disappointment in the end, because that felt like a good opportunity for points. Like, just they couldn't hook up qualifying. Gabby made the mistake. He would have gotten into Q2, but couldn't take part because of taking it into the wall. And Hulkenberg just didn't get it quite hooked up. So P16 for Bortoletto with his start. Hulkenberg started in P13, but they just finished just outside the points. Gabby P11, Nico P13. But Gabby started from pit lane in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, so it was a good drive. But I wouldn't even say frustrated, man. That was clumsy. That was a clumsy weekend. They were in the 10 all weekend, comes qualifying, and it just went pear-shaped. Like I said, Gabby had the hit the wall at the Nouvelle chicane, whatever it's called. And then Hulk, he got a bit of traffic, but he was carrying some damage as well and couldn't hook the lap up. Then reliability hits Gabby, which meant he had to start from pit lane. Like I said, did a solid job to finish P11. And Hulk, 10-second penalty.
Yeah, he got desperate at the end there.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things. The gap did open up there. You just don't have the lock. I mean, that Audi didn't look like it wanted to turn on
its
time,
did it? He just understeered, He went in there probably with carrying a bit too much and just understeered. But, yeah, for me, massive miss, man. That weekend doesn't reflect the pace that they had.
No. Move on.
I'll move on.
So now it's one of those jobs where it's like, move on, Barcelona. Yep. All right. Haas, a little bit like Williams in a way, with their struggling driver getting the upper hand, getting in the points. So it was a poor qualifying effort from both cars. P17 for Ocon, P19 for Behrman.
Well, they got rooted by the red flag, didn't they?
They did.
Both of them.
And come race, Ocon has picked up a couple of points in P9. Behrman has had to retire due to some issues. We thought here at Monaco, they were possibly in with a shout, just due to the track not being very specific to the power deficit of the Ferrari engine. It was just a weekend that Ocon needed.
Yes, he needed the result. No, he wasn't better than Ollie this weekend. Ollie was still quicker than him all weekend. The red flag screwed Ollie over. Yes, it screwed Ocon over as well. Then Ocon hit Ollie on the opening lap, which meant Ollie had to come in, replace the front wing, and then had some braking issues, which meant then he had to retire the car. Still not good enough from Ocon on Ocon's side. Man, mega disappointing. Since they put those upgrades on that car, they have gone backwards compared to, say, Racing Bulls and Alpine. So they got a lot of work to do. The next two circuits we're going to are not favourable to that car. They need to get on top of these upgrades, because if they don't, they're going to fall behind pretty quickly.
The perennial battlers for the wooden spoon, with Aston Martin picking up that final point with Fernando Alonso bringing it home in 10th place after a penalty to Sergio Perez. Starting from P21, roll back the years, Fernando. Good job. Now, Lance Stroll qualified P22. He's gone off at that final corner, which when it happened, we did have a bit of a joke about it, and we just thought, just Stroll things, typical Lance. But there were mitigating circumstances of that due to the track breakout. But Fernando, let's talk about that 1 point. Will Aston Martin pick up any more points throughout the season? Yes or no?
Possibly, but it's probably going to take something like what we saw this weekend to happen again. We know they're basically going to bring a whole new car come summer.
Yeah, they're targeting Spa, aren't they? I think it was.
Yeah, so they're not bringing massive upgrades. Look, I thought maybe, given the track characteristics, no massive power, differential, high downforce, I thought Alonso might go okay here.
Yeah.
But come Friday, I mean, they were in the bottom three every single session. They were absolutely nowhere.
It highlighted that chassis, that car, needs a lot of work.
And look, Alonso did a great job, man, in the race. He just kept his nose clean. He started on the softs too, right? So that basically would have locked him into a two-stop. Fortunately, he got the safety car, then the red flag, so he got the cheap second stop.
Yeah.
Which, helped him out. Yes, he got lucky to get the point, but did he though?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There is always an element of luck in a race weekend. You have to put your car in that position to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
That's what Fernando did. And when you compare him to his teammate, he got the job done. But it was good to see Aston Martin getting the point. But moving on to Cadillac, they'll be kicking themselves. Like Sergio will be absolutely, I think, livid with himself because we saw...
That's a fundamental error.
Yeah, but two in that race, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was the race start. He pulled up into the wrong box. So he ended up with a infringement. Was it a 5-second penalty for that or 10-second initially?
No, he got the drive-through.
The drive-through, that's right. And then on the restart, wasn't it? He overshot the box, which is even worse.
Yep.
From an experienced guy, and it has cost Cadillac their first Formula One championship point. They clearly were faster of the Aston Martins all week. Sergio Perez, P18 qualifying, Bottas in P20. But there is that inter-team battle now, and it does seem to be that Perez really is making the most of his opportunities with Cadillac. And on the other side with Bottas, he is definitely struggling.
Bottas isn't comfortable. Isn't comfortable with the car at the moment, and Perez is doing the job. It's just execution that let them down this weekend.
Yeah, and they seem to have some issues with those front brakes. get pretty toasty. So I don't know if that was a setup issue or whether it's a fundamental sort of mechanical issue with the brakes, but smoky.
And that's what caused Bottas to retire, wasn't it? So
Sergio ended up with the 10-second penalty, so he was demoted from that championship single point of P10 back to P15. So, opportunity gone begging there for a point. So, I think this weekend, the Monaco Grand Prix will get a bit of a reprieve. I don't think there'll be too much debate about it, whether it belongs on the calendar. It's very ironic. We didn't see much overtaking, but we did get an exciting Sunday. But if it wasn't for the track potentially breaking up, maybe we would be having those debates this week. Now, as far as predictions...
Well, the only one I got was the red flags.
Yeah, you were pretty spot on with the red flags. Definitely.
Apart from that was it.
But where do we go from here? Quick turnaround, Barcelona. Can Kimi make it 6 in a row and just completely throw the dagger in to George's campaign? Do we see some great pace coming from Red Bull? Do we see the Ferraris or Hamilton at least keep up the podiums? And can McLaren bounce back? We will soon find out in just a week's time. Mick, I probably saw your thunder there, just summarising that, because normally I give you the final thought, but you come up with something, mate. Finish it up, clean it up, give us your best shot.
Oh, Monaco. It delivered. 100% delivered. If you weren't excited by watching those cars go around there this weekend, then there's something wrong with it. Yes, the debate is still up. Have we outgrown Monaco? Definitely not. You basically stole my thunder. Thanks, man. No, all good. But this is it. This is it now. Backs to the wall for George Russell. Can he make some history and hunt down the young Kimi Supernelli? Because, mate, that kid is running downhill. Look, it's not over till the fat lady sings, but it was a magnificent weekend. We look forward to Barcelona. Make sure you like and subscribe as we are on the hunt to 1,000 subscribers. So until then, we will catch you in the next one.
Catch up.